Welcome back to the channel. Today I stand here in front of a 2009 Pontiac G8 GT. It was supposed to be a parts car, but I might end up fixing this one. You're looking at all the damage. So for all the people out there, all the experts that say every car that has a salvage title has been totally destroyed, I present to you this. You need a fender liner, and some suspension. It runs, it kind of drives, no airbags deployed, so yeah, shouldn't be a total. Maybe $500 in parts and an afternoon to fix it. So, do I really want to part this car out, being that it's that easy to fix? I don't know. I'm going to let you guys decide. I almost forgot. It also needs a wheel and a tire. But these parts are available used everywhere. They're not hard to find. Nothing's available new for this thing anymore. That's it. I mean, this car was a Florida car its whole life, so the bottom of it is really rust-free, and it only has 137,000 miles, which for these isn't bad at all. So let's get some suspension on this, or get this straightened out a little bit, actually, and put a tire on it and get it off the trailer. We'll put it up on the lift and take a better look at it. Walk around the outside of it, show you what we're dealing with. Let you guys decide what I should do with it. I really do need all these parts for a couple other builds of mine, so it's a perfect parts car, but I could be tempted to save it. So we need to get our wheel off. We need to get this thing up in the air. Well, we're gonna have to jam a jack under there because of this car's new stance. It might get a little sketchy here. Yep, we're on the right channel. Don't worry, it won't fall on you. It'll only fall on me. Once we get it up in the air, we'll put something slightly more stable underneath it than this jack configuration we have. You know, like a milk crate or something. Or if we're feeling really risky today, we'll try out one of those recalled Harbor Freight jack stands. I got a really good deal on a few sets. They were just throwing them away. So we'll pop off all the little caps. They go over the lug nuts, because chrome lug nuts weren't a thing, I guess. We'll just buzz off our lug nuts. Well, car hasn't fallen on me yet. In the pile. So that's what we're dealing with. Our lower control arm isn't supposed to have that curve to it. It's supposed to be straight. So we're going to take it off. We're going to take the wheel liner off because it's kind of in our way. It's all bunched up there. These wheel liners are from back in the good old days when they were actually plastic and not carpeted. Get this thing out of there. I win. In the pile. So now we can unbolt the lower control arm from the subframe. The nut on the back side is welded to the frame, so we just have to spin it out of there. Our strut has a little bend to it, but it'll be good enough. That's about where the wheel belongs. So now we can unbolt our control arm from our knuckle. Unfortunately, it's just spinning. The nut's not coming off. So we'll use our jack to put a little pressure on it. Wedge it up into the knuckle so we can get the nut off of there. And we need a little more, so we'll jack it up a little bit more and spin that nut off. Appears I went with the safe way of using a jack stand under the car. Takes all the fun out of working on it. There's no excitement. Guess that's why it's a boring build. We'll let our jack down. Then we'll grab our 1/2" extension with our socket on it. Hammer. And knock the control arm loose. So now we're gonna heat up the control arm. We'll use the fire wrench. Now if you're from Illinois or anywhere in the Rust Belt or Canada, you'll recognize this tool. We pretty much need it to remove any fastener on a vehicle that's been on the road for longer than about 3 minutes. Sometimes even the plastic ones. If you're from down south, you probably use it to heat frames and make s'mores. I don't know what else you guys do with this stuff. Maybe start your barbecue? But up here, it's pretty much a required tool. So we'll put our control arm realignment tool in there. Bend it back into place. Straight-ish. Couple little taps, right back to manufacturer specs. Resist the urge to touch it. And after it's cooled off, we'll throw it back in the car. Now I shouldn't have to say this. This is only temporary so that we can get it off the trailer and drive it into the yard. It's not going to stay like this, but there are people that would think this is a permanent repair. And the experts that just want to tell me I'm not doing it right. So we'll put the control arm back in the knuckle, then we'll put it back in the subframe. Run the bolt in. And we'll tighten down the nut on the outside of the control arm. See if it goes back in. Nope. Needs a little tension. Jack it up a little bit. And now we can tighten it up. Click. And now we'll throw a temporary wheel on there. Yes, it's a Camaro wheel. These were off of that other G8 that I parted out. And we got something loose up there. Looks like the outer tie rod end has a little wear. We'll change that later. And our wheel is close to straight. Should be enough to get it off the trailer. We'll find out. Of course, the battery is dead at the auction, but it had 19 hours on the way home and a little detour for a vacation with the pizza girl. So, it should be fully charged now. Runs. Let's get it off the trailer. You can unplug our wiring harness from our trailer. Cap back on it so we don't get any contaminants in there. Keep the elements out of it. Then we can unbolt the other side of it from the car. Put the power side underneath the jumper terminal back there. And we grounded it underneath the lug that's on the frame rail up here. Cap back on. And we're ready to go. I didn't put the stabilizing jacks on the trailer because I want it to squat down a little bit as I back it off, make this thing sit a little more level. I don't want to catch the front bumper too bad. A little bit doesn't matter because, well, it's already pulled off the fender. I think our alignment's a little off. Feels not exactly going straight, but it'll get us around the shop and maybe a test drive. We'll just keep it under 150. Now ordinarily I wouldn't even bother taking it on the test drive, but somehow I have to annoy those people that say I'm endangering people's lives, like they did with the Camaro. That actually was a little sketchy. Missed the Blazer by that much. So it's pretty clean other than the damage from the accident. There is a little bodywork in the door over here, and the door's been painted. You can kind of see their blends if you look at it the right way. Doesn't match perfectly, but it doesn't look too bad. It does have vent visors, but they're not camo, so I'll allow it. There's a couple little flaws back here. Got a little scuff in the bumper, a little bit of cracked paint. Not a big deal. And they're a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Just giving you guys a hard time. I honestly don't care about football. That, I think, is staying. There's a little ding in the sail panel there. Looks like maybe some hail. And that little scrape in the quarter. That might buff off. Another one in the door. Might buff off as well. A little door ding up here. All in all, car looks pretty good for a 13-year-old car now. Does have a lot of rock chips in the front bumper, so that's going to have to be repainted. The custom painted grills are chipped up too, so I'll have to repaint those. The bumper's just out of its clips. Flip it back in over there. It does have a catback Corsa exhaust. Sounds pretty good. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I went on a rescue mission to save this little guy's brother from the ductwork in the paint room. Well, he's a little ungrateful and he won't come near me, but this little guy, he has no problem coming up and walking around the yard. He's not afraid of people. The little guy that took a tumble down the vent, yeah, he won't come within 20 feet of anybody. It does have a cold air intake and some aftermarket plug wires. I would say somebody's in here probably been deleting the DOD because the intake's been off. Even looks like the heads have been off. So they've been in there for something. I don't know why else you'd be in there. It is an LS. It's not like it was broken. Custom painted dipstick. That's gonna add at least $1,000. And an oil cap. Fancy billet. It has a new alternator and power steering pump. We did get 2 keys. Our air conditioning was even working from Florida, so chances are it was. Not happy about our tire pressure. That's it. That's all the lights that are on. Yep, our air conditioning's working. Both of our keys. Never get 2 keys. Sometimes I don't even get 1. Our seats are actually in good shape. They're not separating like a lot of them do at the seams. No tears. A little wear on the bolster on the driver's side, but to be expected. 137,000 miles on it, 13 years old. Yeah, it might be hard to cut this one up, but I might have to. Our headliner's not falling down, which is actually kind of shocking. Our seats are in really good shape. The plastic's not dried out. Must have spent a lot of time in the garage. There is this little dent on the A-pillar on the driver's side. I think this might actually be part of the accident. Maybe whatever sign they hit came down and caught it. And the Florida sun is taking a toll on the little shark fin antenna. Now these are aftermarket. They just fit right over the old one that has the stick coming off of it. And here's the best part. The bottom of the car. They just don't look like this up here. A little surface rust on the exhaust. That's it. Okay, there's a little rust on the subframe for where it got scraped up when it went over the curb. But other than that, it's about as clean as it was when it was built. So now it's up to you guys to decide what I do with this thing. I either part it out or I rebuild it. Now, you can go vote in the comments all you want, but I'm from Chicago where your votes don't matter unless money's attached. So, in the description, I'll leave some options for how you can buy this car. If somebody wants to buy it, I'll be glad to fix it, however they decide. But all the options are going to include it with a clear title with a rebuilt brand. So there won't be anything to do except send the paperwork in to whatever state you live in. No inspections, no nothing, it'll all be done. It's just a matter of how much do you want to spend and how far do you want me to go. Do you want a perfect car? Do you want just that stuff repaired? Or do you want something in between? Like I said, I'll leave some options in the description. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. And it's up to you guys. The next time you see this car, I'll either be fixing it or doing burnouts. So, see you soon.